Hello, thank you for joining us and welcome to another 261 Fearless Empowerment Talk. I'm your host today and my name is Juliet McGrattan. As you may know, 261 Fearless is a global network which uses running to unite and empower women all around the world. And we're passionate about using our platform for empowerment and education of women to improve the health and well-being of women of all backgrounds and cultures. And our series of empowerment talks features high-profile and influential women from the world of business, sport, health, and those in leadership roles. And we talk to them so that we can be informed, inspired, and motivated by them. Now, due to the coronavirus pandemic and we not being able to meet in person, we're using our virtual format today. And our topic today is overcoming cultural barriers to running. And I'm excited to introduce two wonderful guests who are going to share their experiences and give us their advice and their tips on this. So I'd like to welcome Tasha and Nabs, who are both Adidas Runners in Malaysia. So welcome, ladies. It's lovely to have you both with us.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, I thought it would be good if we could start just with a few little quick questions. So we can get to know you, if that's okay. So Nabs, do you want to answer first, and then Tasha can follow on these? Is that okay?
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So Nabs, can you tell me where do you live?
Both of us actually, Tasha and I live in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Very good, Kuala Lumpur, lovely, wonderful part of the world. Okay, well, Tasha, I'll ask you this one. Can you tell me when did you start running?
I started running when I was 9 years old. It was actually started off with, I joined a netball team representing my primary school. So that was when I was in primary school. So my sports teacher, Mr. Kunas Radi, he coached me and trained me. So it all started from as a netball player to being a runner. And then I became serious in running when I joined Kaiser Run Crew, which me and Nebs are in this running crew in Kuala Lumpur, is led by an inspiring runner and leader, also a friend that is Tuba. So starting from that was in 2015, then I became serious in running.
Very good. So started from quite a young age, but in a different sport.
Yeah.
Nabs, how about you? Similar story to that?
Somewhat similar to an extent, because I think mine was basketball instead during my high school years. I didn't really do sports when I was in primary school because I just don't. I just didn't. But then when I went to, I came back from the UK during for my degree. That's when I started to really go into running because I met like Tasha. We met with Kaiser Run Crew, and then we just caught up with all these people and all this running in a group kind of thing, and then having fun together and things like that. So it's just we're getting more and more addicted into it lah.
So your running journey has really been shared together.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So running's a little bit tricky in some parts of the world at the moment. How are you managing in Malaysia at the moment? Are you in full isolation? Tasha, do you want to answer that one?
Well, the place that I'm staying right now, that is Shah Alam, it's not a total lockdown, but we are in a movement control order where we can only go out only for important reasons like grocery shopping, getting medicines, and so. And yes, we are not allowed to do outdoor activities. So yeah, that's how the situation here in Shah Alam, and I think it's the same in Kuala Lumpur where Nats is staying, right, Nats?
Yep. Similar.
So no, you can't run at the moment.
Not at all for the past 1.5 months, no. And another 14 days.
14 days. That's a long time for a runner, isn't it? Oh. How are you both keeping fit? Nabs, how are you managing to keep your fitness up at the moment?
I have a bicycle at home and a trainer, so that's how I do my cardiovascular activities. I speed, but I also sometimes do some, all those muscle conditioning, core workouts, things that I can just follow some videos, some things on internet. So yeah, that's how it is. But it's really different from running. So, and running has always been some sort of a liberation medium for me. So it's difficult times, but we're managing. We are coping with it.
Yeah, when we get back to it, we'll enjoy it all the more.
Yeah. We would.
Yeah. So just thinking about who's inspired you in your running journey, Tasha, who's your inspiration or your mentor?
Talking about inspiration and mentor, I actually don't have any specific person, because the inspiration always comes from my running friends. One of them is Nat. She inspires me in so many ways. She runs, she also swims, she's Iron Man. So yeah, and they always inspire me in so different ways. I don't have actually have a specific mentor. It's just these group of supportive friends.
Have you a particular inspiring person or mentor?
Not specifically on running, but I think more of life in general. I have my mom. She's a very strong lady. She's a single mom since I was young. So I mean, from her actions and the things that I learned from her actions as well as words to me, is to really work hard and smart to achieve whatever that you can, because ultimately there's no limitation, and you can practically do everything that you want if you give yourself and your heart to it. Yep. So I mean, so that has been my life motto in all aspects, including running.
And what are your dreams for the future following on from that? Where's your hard work going to take you?
I think ultimately to be the best version of myself holistically, without any limitations in my career, in doing the things that I love, and having that work-life balance, and in life in general. Yep. To be the best version of myself.
How about you, Tasha? What's your dream for the future?
Well, running related, of course, one day I dreamed of joining any one of world major marathons, and to just have great confidence that I can do so much more and progress so much more in running. Besides that, out of the context of running related, one of my dreams and goal is, just for information, Julia, I would love to continue my studies in Oxford University one day, if there is any chance given. Yeah, that is my dream.
Oh, we'd love to welcome you to England. Let me know. I can help. Oh, well, that's a lovely introduction to you both. Thank you. So let's kind of dive into our topic of overcoming cultural barriers to running. And perhaps now, if you want to kick off with, I'm just wondering, what's the biggest barrier to being active that you've faced personally so far in your life?
There's this conservative or culture where our parents think that maybe sports is not as important. So sometimes they tend to put it at the sideline and put career or studies or families first. There's that mentality within the, especially that generation, our parents' generation, and Malay culture, where they see women not being too involved in sports in general. So I guess on our side, we kind of try to make that a balance, like trying to manage our families and managing our parents' expectations, but doing the thing that we want to do, that we love to do at the same time. So there's always that people management going on throughout the process. Yep.
So is there a lack of role models for Malaysian girls seeing other women being active?
I mean, nowadays, Tasha can add it on after this, but I guess nowadays there are more and more people. You can see the transition. I mean, since I came back from the UK in 2012 to now, 2019, within the 7 years, the progress or the mentality that Malaysians had on women running in general. Because I think back in 2012, maybe there was less. And Malaysia in general, it's not yet, it's still a developing running community. It's not a mature community like London or like Berlin or like Japan for that matter. So we are progressing towards that, and we can see that the progress is there. But
good.
Yeah. So not to say there's none, but we'll progress.
Change. Yeah.
Tasha?
Yeah. So Tasha, what's your view in your culture? Is it easy for girls and women to be active and choose the sports they like?
Well, I always believe that it always from word of mouth from friends. We just have to tag along and ask our friends to join. For example, like Adidas Runners Kuala Lumpur, what we're doing now is the women's session. So we already set up a platform there for women to join. That is how we try to engage as much as women as possible in Malaysia to be active and stay active.
And I guess the awareness part is supposed to be played by a lot of parties, like governments, like Adidas, like retail, and also the community itself. So, like Tasha said, we've done a lot of women engagements, and that's when you create awareness that hey, it's okay to actually do what you want to do, although you're a woman. Like putting that aside, we're just humans, want to do things that we love, kind of thing. So it's okay. The awareness is getting there, so everyone plays a role in that.
It'd be an exciting time as well.
Yep. It is.
So, Tasha, who supported you to run?
The first person that supported me was my brother. So he was the one that introduced me to this Kaiser group, which I always ran alone after studies, just around my neighborhood. And he said, you should find a group and join a support group so that you can have friends with the same passion. So we started from my brother. So after joining Kaiser Bangku, of course, that whole group is a family. And my family also supported me, which at the beginning, they doubt me, especially my mom, because she said that I'm too petite to be too active in running.
Too fragile.
So yeah, it started with my brother and my running friends, family, and now I have two families, like Adidas Runners Kuala Lumpur family and also Kaiser Bangku. So yeah, it's great.
Wonderful. And outside of lockdown, because I know you can't run at all at the moment, but how would your exercise kind of week look? When would you run, and who would you run with?
I normally run for working days. I normally run alone because I'm seeing my family, so I have curfews at night, actually. So for night runs, I already scheduled that for being committed to Adidas Runners KL. And so for me to train for myself, either having a leisure run or committed to any training plan, I normally run after work, that is in the evening after 6. In the evening, yeah. I prefer running in the evening.
How about you, Nabs? Is that a similar kind of routine for you?
No, I prefer running in the morning. So because I work at 7:30, and then we have, as a Muslim, we have prayers that we have to adhere to like 5 times a day. So taking that into consideration, I would normally, 3 or 4 times a week, including weekends, I would normally wake up at 4 and then run at 4:45.
Yeah, wow. She's very committed to that.
6:30 for the subuh prayers, and then just hit work. Yeah.
Dedication.
But
Wow.
also sometimes I join Tasha during the nights when we run it with Adidas Runners, as well as our Kaiseran crew, right? But yeah, I run in the morning with some friends. It's not me. There are a few busy friends who also want to run at 4:45 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Motivate each other to get out of bed. Oh. If it's okay, I'd like to specifically talk about your hijabs, because I know it's a topic that people are often sort of shy away from. So let's go crack it sort of straight head on, really. Nabs, Tasha, I'll just ask Nabs something. Tasha, let's ask you, can you give us a little bit of inside information, if you like, about what it actually means to run with a hijab in your culture?
Okay, I would say it's a norm among Muslim women because it relates to our religious rule. And in Malaysia, here it's a multiracial country with multi-religion citizens. And yes, Islam is the main religion, but regardless of race and religion, wearing hijab for sports here has been 100% acceptable by everyone. Thankful that we here in Malaysia have a very supportive and civilized citizens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's just very, very normal for you, which is okay. That's great.
Normal.
And so, Nabs, are you often? I mean, I'm asking you about your hijabs. Are you often asked to talk about your choice to wear a hijab, and is it something that you feel kind of able to openly debate?
I think the openly debate is a very subjective subject going on. But I guess I'm pretty much, if people ask me, I'm very comfortable to answer, because I think wearing a hijab to a certain extent, that's a very key word here, is an option. I guess, like Tasha has pointed out, it is a must as a Muslim to actually cover yourself up and wear a hijab ultimately. But I guess when I say it's an option or it's a choice, it's actually the need to wear it is not because someone else asked you to, but because it comes from the inside. That's when it matters. Because of the faith that you have, that you need to wear a hijab. So having said that, I think, I've received in the past when I initially made the decision to actually wear this hijab, I was questioned, like, really? And things like that, because I have a few liberal friends also as well out there. So, I got questions like, is it easy, the transition? And I'm doing sports, is it a hindrance for me while doing sports? But I guess, ultimately, we are just human beings and we adapt. We know what we want to do. We know what we have to do, what we must do. So it's just trying to meet in the middle kind of thing and adapt. So I really don't have problems wearing hijab while running and doing sports.
Have you had a bad experience, a negative experience, whatever that may be, from wearing it?
I guess at the onset, when I first do the transition, of course, there's that adaptation phase where you're just trying to get used to something that you're not comfortable with. So it's just like a lot of clothes on you, and there's just a lot of stickiness because you just can't get out kind of thing. It's like a slow-moving sauna. But I guess after a while, it becomes easier. So, it's a matter of you want to do it or not. It's not. It shouldn't be an excuse.
How about you, Tasha? Do you have a positive story to share?
A positive story to share about.
Well, that you feel proud, or?
Yeah, my trip to Berlin, Germany last year, joining the Adidas 6 Night Run, actually has changed my perception of how people perceive women running with hijab. Because before going to Berlin, I told my team that I have a sense of fear and I'm kind of worried because I've never been to Germany and I do not know how the people there, and plus someone is going to be a global gathering. So I don't know if it is acceptable, how people engage with us. And so, but yeah, surprisingly, I'm very happy that we were welcome there, uh, the same as everyone else.
Sure.
They were very supportive, and there were also women wearing hijab from Berlin city itself. So yeah, it is not a barrier at all, and I find that very positive. It's very positive because it just really changed my perceive and my perception.
That's wonderful to hear. Do you think there are women that perceive the hijab as a barrier, though, to being active in your own culture or in places you've travelled to?
I think some does, but I guess more importantly, we need to actually realize that. I mean, this is a point that everyone can wear, like women or men or hijab or no hijab. That at the end of the day, if it's just all these limitations are just challenges or excuses that you create for yourself, and you just look at it in a more positive light, and hey, why not kind of thing, instead of hey, I cannot do this because of that. So I guess these like the people that we meet, the awareness programs, us ourselves running by example, these are good movements to actually make light of this objective or this perspective.
Do you want to add to that, Tasha?
Yeah, I just want to add that answering towards that question, it is not a barrier, and it shouldn't be a barrier. But however, when talking about women with hijab doing their exercise with hijab, yes, we actually have higher self-conscious about what we wear, about our bodies. And straightforward saying is we actually feel uncomfortable being stared at or looked at by the opposite gender during doing our workout or running, because it's a norm and a stereotype whereby when we wear hijab, meaning that we have to wear proper layered clothes. But like Naps mentioned just now, it all depends on individuality of what you are comfortable in, what you're comfortable with. So if the opposite gender continues to do so, like what I mentioned just now, it can draw us to serious situations whereby I myself experience, I feel demotivated to join outdoor activities because of that, because being stared at, being looked at. So yeah, just everyone plays a part to shift and be more open-minded with women wearing hijab during workouts and sports activities.
And that's a very good point. It's not only women need to be empowered, it's the role that everyone else are supposed to actually uphold to make women feel empowered and not discriminated.
Absolutely.
I think we should try to reach out to other states, women in other states. We need to find a way, because right now our sessions are really focused in Kuala Lumpur only. So yeah, that's actually a good point and a good idea for us to point out, to
Going
think
forward,
about, to have a thought about those that are not reachable.
I think Tasha and I are in an interesting phase in Malaysia, where we are at that developing phase where we are reaching out to people to actually increase this awareness in running, especially in women and wearing hijab kind of thing. But yeah, it's really an interesting phase where we really want to be that inspiration and to be that motivation for people to actually start running.
Yeah, it's an important job you've got. Very, very important. Just changing topic slightly, because I know it's Ramadan at the moment, and I imagine that can be a barrier to exercise as well during fasting. I can only imagine how difficult it is. Can you share personally how you manage your exercise and Ramadan? Tasha, do you want to take that one?
Well, it is different from normal days, but the best time to do a workout or to run, it's either before our sahur next.
Sahur.
It's before our prayer time, that is in subuh, or towards our breakfast around 7.
You don't wanna exercise at the middle of the day where
Yeah.
you only have that chance to drink like at the end of the day, so you don't want to do that.
Otherwise you feel so thirsty and not energized. So yeah, the best time is, I think, 1 hour before 7. Start at 6 to work out, and then by that time, if I myself feel dehydrated or already blackout, but we know that we have to be strong because it's just going to be another 30 minutes to breakfast. So
as compared to the whole day ahead of you. So yeah.
So Nab, do you drop your 4:45 a.m. run during Ramadan?
I mean, if it's not MCO, this is unprecedented circumstances. But if it's not MCO, I would normally run earlier.
Yeah, so you guys run at what? 3 a.m. is it normally? Ramadan?
Yeah. So instead of running at 4:45, we would run at 3:45 and finish by 5:15, so that we can eat before the 5:45. That's
yeah, sure. So that clever.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it's something you get used to and you adapt. Do you find it difficult?
At first, yeah, it was, but later on, we are ready. It's a norm.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, you want to run. That's the thing that you love to do. So yeah. So
you just find a way to make it work.
And actually, I find that running or doing a workout during Ramadan is like we actually know where our limit is, because we know that we do not consume any food or any energy drinks. So we kind of push our limits, and that also plays a part in the how do I say mentally trained.
I guess it works. I guess it could work both ways.
But I guess I mean the fact that we're doing it kind of shows that hey, actually it's doable kind of thing. So
absolutely.
And for myself, because I ran at 3:45, like I mentioned just now during Ramadan. So when I first ran, it was in 2015 when I started running before before 3 at 3:45. Usually during Ramadan, we would normally run after iftar. I mean after the break fasting or right before like Tasha. But during 2015, it was just probably just the 2 or 3 of us. But last year, we had like 15, 20 people because I run normally every Tuesday and Fridays on a weekday at 4:45 or 3:45 during Ramadan. So we have like more than 15 of us running together at one point. And it's consistently every week during Ramadan. So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. By you doing it and you setting an example that it's doable, then everyone else just join in. And hey, actually, it gives me the satisfaction of doing things that I'm actually able to do that previously I didn't know that I was able to do, kind of thing. Yeah.
No, I think that's crucial, isn't it? Like you say, you're being an amazing role model, particularly perhaps for younger girls as well, in your area, who can see that that's normal for them growing up. And I'm just wondering what other things you think we could do now as a society that would make it easier for the young girls in your area or in the rural areas as well to feel able to overcome all these cultural barriers and participate in sports and running?
To me, instill confidence in them at a younger age, and parents and school teachers plays a big part in this, especially sports teachers and coaches, because as far as I'm concerned, that there is no specific topic being taught in school in their syllabus related to this. So it must be taught and educated to them verbally by their sports teachers, coaches, and it starts from home. And also talking about role model just now, they have to have a role model for someone to look up to, a sister or mom or someone older than them. Besides that, like sports, the one that I have right now also have been clearly seen that they are actually engaging in sports. So yeah, and to me, it's to instill that great confidence in them, to make them believe that women actually can do sports so much more, just like the opposite sex.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that, yeah, having that self belief, and
Yeah.
like you say, using teaching in schools, and having the right role models.
Mm-hmm.
Would you add anything to that, Nabs?
I just want to enhance the point that Tasha was making, because I think ultimately culture is something that is inborn and something that is hard to change when things are there. It takes time to change. It's culture. It's something that you do when internally without people telling you what to do. So it needs to be inborn. So hence the need for all these children to be exposed to the right exposure by important roles, such as parents, teachers. And I think that's why, in this sense, teachers, all these the people that are supposed to be role models need to be aware of their roles. Hence the awareness through social medias, which is currently whole, and government being more adaptable, kind of open with this sort of culture as well. So those sort of things need to start in order for us to instill that culture in the young ones and ultimately embed it in the society as a whole.
So, Nabs, if you looked back at your younger self, say age 6, or other girls about age 6, what advice would you give?
I would say don't be scared, because I was such a quite petite and shy child when I was young, because my mom was really kind of scary person. So I was very studious, very obedient child. So I mean, it is good to be obedient. I mean, no one wants to be afraid and things like that. But I guess it's to be less scared. Like, don't be scared to be the person you want to be, but at the same time respect people. But of course, that goes without saying. But yeah, don't be scared. And I think there's no limitation. The sky is your limit. But don't be scared. Don't be afraid. Be what you want to be.
How about you, Tasha? How about you? What would you give advice would you give to your younger self?
I would tell my younger self that you have to believe in yourself, have no doubts, don't be afraid, have that confidence, and know that if everyone else can do it and can achieve it, so you can do it as well. You can achieve that as well. There is no limit in terms of each humanity. Each human is actually the same. It all entails with hard work, effort, and the passion. So yeah, I would tell that to my younger self.
And has Tasha, has running empowered you?
Yeah, absolutely. I love talking about empowerment. Actually, it's actually really have empowered, um, contributed tremendously beyond just my running progress. Like I mentioned just now, joining a running group, having a running crew, running friends. Besides progressing just in running, I also have gained more confidence. I also have been more committed and being more knowledgeable about being active, about being healthy. And besides that, it is also an honor to have known that it's not just that I am being empowered by others, but there are also others being empowered by me. So that's a really huge honor for me. And it all starts with you have to be fearless and the will to try. For example, like if I didn't join Kaiser Ranku back in 2015, I would not be here today, because during that time I have the doubt to join because I was alone and I do not have friends. I know no one, but it's because of I believe that that's the friends that will empower me and the group that will inspire me along the way. Yeah.
Wonderful. Nabs, how about you? How has running empowered you?
I think I see this empowerment in two perspectives. One is a journey, another thing is the result. And I guess as a runner, as a person even, there were a lot of boundaries that I've crossed and surpassed since I first started running. And I think in general, from being just a normal kind of runner to become an Iron Man, so it was the journey itself and the things that I've learned along the way, the friendships forged and the knowledge gained, the discipline that was instilled in me. So those are the things that you gain during the journey, and it stays with you as a person, to become this a person after that is that actually thinks that everything is achievable, and if you just put your heart and mind into it. So to be that person, and the things that I had to go through, the people that I have to meet, and everything all encompassing, it's really empowering. Yep.
The journey. This chat actually has touched my emotions somehow, because we are talking about things that actually really what we wanted to share. Yeah, great one, Nebs. You just so emotional.
One of the lovely things about 261 Fearless is that it does bring women from all around the world together, and in lots of different ways, and it is really about empowering women through running. And we want to reach as many people as possible and inspire them to run. What you mentioned very briefly there, thinking about that you might like to reach out into rural communities. What would be the things that you think you could go away and do in your city and in your wider area to create excitement and get more women into running? What would you go and do?
I think social media as a platform, but I think that what is the social kind of thing where people kind of see what you post, and you just show something that is positive and want to influence them in a positive way, that ultimately the objective is to empower them. That's from one point. And then I think also as captains and co-captains of Adidas Runners, we have that platform to actually empower women. Tasha and I recently had a project of 21 kilometer for women, specifically for women. So we had all this training planned we had interviews with a lot of this bunch of people, and then through that interviews we select them, and then give them training plans, give them the motivation, give them talks, and all this team spirit going on, sisterhood kind of thing, so that they feel empowered. And that's, I think, is the important element, that they feel empowered and they empower other people, and that's how they spread in the community. So I guess we have that as a platform as well. But Tasha, would you want to add anything?
Yeah. Thanks to Adidas Runners KL actually for doing this initiative about the half marathon project, especially for women. It has been a journey for us for how many weeks, Naps? 2 months, is it? It was
12 weeks, so 3 months.
12 weeks, 2 months. And we see each other often. We see progress. Because the first stage was an interview session, Julia, whereby we received up to 70 participants that wants to join. So we interviewed 70 runners, but we have to cut short. We just have to select to 30 runners only. So we can see that the project actually really draws attention to these women, and those are one of the projects that Adidas Runners has did, and it has been a great project. It was a success, but towards the end also, it didn't actually happen because the event got cancelled due to the pandemic. But nevertheless, it has been a great progress for everyone, every team. I actually have a picture if I can share with you.
Yeah, I would love to see.
I guess I think more importantly, we know that we've achieved that objective because
Yeah.
even though with the COVID-19
lovely.
and the event got cancelled, these ladies, we've seen the progress, right? We track
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the thing and everything, and then at the end of the day, we actually ran at Putrajaya. We designated a place to run because since the event was cancelled, so we ran socially distancing ourselves and everything, but just us, and they actually did their best. And I mean, although we don't really run through the event that we were meant to, but we achieved that sisterhood as well as the empowerment that we feel that we can actually push that boundary that they put themselves in previously. So I mean, that was kind of a big achievement. So I mean, and then they started telling their friends and things like that. So
were they women who hadn't run before, or were?
So we have a portion of them who never ran before, who never completed 21 kilometers. So these are the first time runners. And then we have those that had run. They have self goals that they set for themselves to beat a specific timing and things like that.
Yeah, wonderful. So bringing together lots of different abilities and having a shared goal and running in a group. And it's a wonderful picture.
Like we mentioned just now, we are in a multiracial country, so
we have Chinese, we have Indians, we have ladies. So
so it sounds like you two are working really hard to be amazing role models and share running and help women achieve their goals and to get a new hobby. I take my hats off to you. That's amazing. Well, listen, we could probably talk for another hour, but we probably shouldn't. So, so I just want to say thank you very much to both of you for joining us. It's been really, really good to speak to you, and I know that there are lots of people around the world who are going to enjoy listening to the talk, and will get your infectious, motivational attitude and go out and help other women to learn to run as well. So
I think that this is a part of the medium to actually empower women. I mean,
exactly, because it's going on YouTube later.
It is. We'll be showing this all around the world. So so that's why it's really, really great to hear your message, and thank you for talking about cultural barriers, and thank you to everybody that's listening, and for joining us for this empowerment talk. Thanks to Tasha and Nabs, and please join us for the next empowerment talk, which will be coming up in the next month or two. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye everyone.